Well, it's been pretty stormy out there lately, hasn't it? Both literally and figuratively. I don't think I need to tell you how much anxiety and fear there is in the world right now, how out of balance we feel, how we lack peace and serenity. It reminds me of that quote from St. Teresa from the 1500s. Sometimes life is like a night at a bad inn. Well, I know a lot of us are feeling that way right now. Well, I was up at a cabin in the Blue Ridge Mountains reflecting on our times when a storm started to come in. You know, the skies darkened and the trees started to sway, and all of a sudden it was just a torrential rain coming down in sheets, and it was so noisy. The thunder was clapping and the lightning was shrieking. I could hear the rain coming down on the metal roof. One might say it was a violent storm. And as I was watching it come in, I began to wonder about the lack of movement in the woods. There was rain, sure, and the trees were moving, but there were no creatures or critters around, when just a few moments before they had been running all around. Where was that cardinal that was just out on that oak tree a few minutes before? Where was the blue jay and the goldfinches I had just seen? Where were the crickets and the skinks and the squirrels and the chipmunks and that old black bear who'd been visiting a lot last summer? Where'd they go? It seems like they just disappeared. Well, I began to imagine all the places where they were hanging out during this noisy, violent storm. Their dens, their crevices, their caves, those little places that they found. And I imagined them in there, still, quiet, at peace. This instinct within them that drove them away from the noise and deep within themselves to the quiet place. You know, in animals we call that instinct, but I'm wondering if it isn't divine light, that place within all animals, including us, where there is peace within the storm. There is quiet. There is tranquility. Is there in us this reservoir of silence that we can access if we're willing to, if we open ourselves to it? I'm reminded of this quote by Howard Thurman, that wonderful theologian and mystic. He was so influential to Martin Luther King and the early civil rights movement. He said, "In the stillness of quiet, if we listen, we can hear the whisper of the heart, giving strength to weakness, courage to fear, hope to despair." In the stillness of quiet, if we listen, we can hear the whisper of the heart, giving strength to weakness, courage to fear, and hope to despair. Can we, like our brothers and sister animals, find this respite within us, find this instinctive, deep wisdom, this deep silence, this divine silence, despite the storms that we find ourselves in? I think we can, if we listen.